uh this is the time where I should at least mention JJ Dillon has recently left. He's gone to work for Vince as well. Was it a big
Yeah.
blow to see JJ leave?
Yes, it was for me. I hated it. I've always been really fond of JJ. I thought that not it's just nothing against Hero, and you never want to say anything, but Hero and I just weren't that. It was JJ and me as a manager, or
Right.
Bobby. Hero just was in the right place at the right time, and George was a very respectable guy and respected his friends. And I respected Hero. We just weren't a good. Just didn't look normal.
It's probably also worth mentioning, as crazy as this sounds now, in 2022, in 1989, the late 80s, there was a lot of conversation about how uh, the Japanese economy was going to overtake the American economy because we were buying import cars and we were buying
Hmm.
electronics. And
Sure.
this is when you started to hear really loud and proud, you need to buy products that are made in the USA. And
Hmm.
the idea that you had aligned yourself with a Japanese corporation, it almost
Hmm.
felt like you were saying, yeah, but I'd rather be with the imports. That was a
Yeah.
big.
Nobody gave me an import though. I never got a deal. Like I haven't got one with Rolex, alligator shoes. Nobody.
I mean, by now it does feel like you should be sponsored by Rolex, Ferragamo,
Ev-
Mercedes.
Everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Ricky really tears you up with chops here.
Yeah.
Besides Wahoo McDaniel, is Ricky number two when it comes to delivering hard chops your way?
Him or Garvin.
Wow, yeah, that's a great one.
Garvin used to pound it out of me. I used to wear Vaseline on my chest from Garvin. Not Vaseline, Neosporin. Because I'd be bleeding every night. I just, the mats weren't as clean as they are now, always because of outdoor shows and that. But I was fortunate; I never got anything.
Of course,
But
once upon
you
a time,
see how athletic he is there, sliding like that, and
yes,
he could drop. He could do anything. And we just had. He understood the cosmetic effect of everything we did. If you're gonna do a headlock, you don't want to go over the guy's ass. You want to go over his back.
right.
I mean, it's easier to go over someone's back, but it's easier to arch your put your hand on his hip and go over the top of his back, and it looks better. And he understood all that, and that's just stuff you don't learn in a wrestling school now. You know what I mean? It's those are the finer things that define a guy that can really work and or a great worker as opposed to someone that is going through the motions, can do all the high flying, but it can't punch, can't kick, and doesn't have a clue about keeping yourself close to your opponent.